So more cards have been revealed from Spiritforged, and guys, it is gonna be intense as we continue with this reveal season. This meta is gonna get hot. So let's see what cards we have in store and where you can potentially find where these new cards are being released and talked about. All of that and more starting right now. Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing. The hard part is there are two fronts that these cards are getting revealed on. You have the front of Chinese and all that jazz, where they're getting their own cards released in their proper language, and then there's the American cards as well. And it's easier for us, of course, to understand the English cards for obvious reasons. And that can be the hard part, is when we do have the Chinese card reveals, we do have very rough translations as to what those may be. And then also on the flip side, it can take a while for the Riftbound Riot card website to actually have those properly updated upon release. When you only release the Chinese cards, of course, you're not going to put just the Chinese cards on the card gallery on Riftbound. Now, again, we are going to be linking all that down below for you guys. And so it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to be like, people looking around, you know, like the John Travolta meme right there and being like, where's the cards? I heard that there were cards that were going to be coming out. And that's going to be the biggest thing. X is probably going to be one of your better friends on that. There's a lot of really good accounts that are looking for or posting these cards, including the Chinese translations. I know Runes and Rift has done a great job on X, and there's even a couple of more that you can find. Just look up Riftbound, and you should be able to find them. And that's going to be something very helpful for you. Likewise, at the same time, the main Discord, you can find it on Riftbound Meta's video descriptions. I'm also going to post the link down in my description as well for the main Discord there. There's a lot of Riot workers as well being in the Discord, and the main users of that end up actually posting the translations and everything pretty quickly as well for you to be able to discuss that. And we're going to be looking at both of these fronts in this video. So first and foremost, that's going to be pretty much one of the biggest things, is right now with the card gallery, there's not a whole lot that we are talking about here, and that's a little sucky. Just because it's like, yeah, we heard that there was supposed to be a Monday reveal, and whoa, there was. We're going to be looking at that, and you're looking around and you're like, well, where are the cards where we're not necessarily seeing anything new? That's going to be, again, the disheartening part. Until they actually release the cards on the English side, you're going to see them populate. But this is actually still a really good update on the Riot website, at least, where you're able to see all of the cards in their proper places, so you know what all is coming so far. Now, of course, we did have more seals that were revealed in that case on the alt arts. And that's going to be something really interesting too, because we don't know yet if there are going to be any seals as regularly printed, and I doubt it. So I think the only way that you're going to be able to even get seals in at least set 2 is going to be literally getting the alt arts. And so, I mean, but they look dang good. Let's be real. Also, I mean, this Ari art, we were in Vegas, so we didn't necessarily get to do a reveal video. So we'll be hopping around a tiny bit today. But guys, can I just say, man, this is looking good. One thing that I am a little bit bummed about is with the signature, it is really hard to see the signature. There's some video going around on X as well of people who were able to actually check out the card on packs, which is so cool. But the signature for this Ari art is going to be a little bit difficult to see. There's also even like Set that was able to be revealed as well as among other cards. And so let's go ahead. We're going to be hopping over, of course, to the Discord here and going through these cards one at a time. Now, with this is going to have a little bit of both of the cards that were released over the weekend, and then we'll go into the Chinese cards, and we'll link the chapters down there for you guys to be able to see. And we do luckily have the majority of the rough translations, so we'll be able to see what they're able to do. Now, first and foremost, Treasure Hunter. When I move, play a gold gear token Exhausted. So that can be absolutely powerful as well. We're already seeing stuff with like Draven, who can really move around with gears and units and things of that nature, and then being able to go ahead and also create a lot of gold. And so here's just another ability to do so. It's going to be really interesting to see if this is going to be kind of a staple in that case, much like what Ravenbloom Student is. The fact that you can go ahead and play a purple to get a gold gear, it will take not a year, wow, take a turn to be able to move it, which can feel like a year, but otherwise it's going to be pretty solid there. Next, of course, Honest Broker. When it dies, of course, play a gold gear token exhausted. And I mean, that's again a 2 for 2, which can be really good. So again, you do definitely have the bird from set 1. I keep forgetting names. You do have Soaring Scout from set 1 that is a very great add-on to be able to channel a rune exhausted. But on the other side, Honest Broker, he looks very trustworthy there. And he can go ahead and play a gear, gold gear token exhausted, which again, for those of you guys who might not know, that will be taking over the power cost, which is really interesting. So again, this is going to be the one abilities that add resources can't be reacted to, which is good, and kill this to be able to add a power. So a little bit for you to be able to utilize there and get a lot of help going with that. Now, this is one of my favorite artworks. Love what they are able to do here with this. It's Boohuru Captain. When you play me, you may draw 1 or buff me. And of course, that is going to be for a 3 and a recycle, so that could slow you down a little bit, but still being able to go ahead and even get an additional card in hand can be very powerful. You know, kind of a little bit like the Lecturing Yordle in that case, but you know, being able to have 1 more might and the ability to pick one or the other can be very good. The 1 power cost can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're going ahead and playing this in something like set. That can be a little bit harder to get things going on. Holy, that was a big blow up. But anyway, so it can be really interesting to see how all of this is going to be going in and affecting the meta, and of course time will tell. There is also going to be something really interesting where I've seen in the interwebs, at least, people talking about running a set 2 tournament coming up after they are done releasing all the cards on December 3rd, if they are all up on Piltover Archive and in Tabletop Simulator. And so that's going to be something really interesting, getting ahead of the curve a little bit just to even see what potentially could be in this meta as well. So very exciting to be able to take a look at that, because man, it is going to be interesting. Jaul Fish. Okay, it can come in accelerated. That is expensive though. 7 and 3 power at that point. So 7 and 3 power if you choose to accelerate it, but it costs 2 less for each of your units that are mighty. So, I mean, hey, if you get 2 or 3 out, even getting 2 out, that can be absolutely big. But again, the 3 power cost is the one card that worries me a little bit. But otherwise, it's looking pretty solid, and will be interesting to see where this can actually fit in the meta of things. Now, of course, this wouldn't be something going in, you know, in Aurora's deck necessarily. It's not meant for that, but I mean, again, if you could potentially put this in like a set deck, a Lee Sin deck, or things of that nature, could be a really good add-on. You know, even a Volibear. We've been seeing Volibear getting some really good support, all things considered. And even like a Fiora deck, this could be a pretty viable card. Again, we don't necessarily know just yet because, well, we are getting into, you know, reveal season, and there's people who are theory crafting already, rightfully so. It's exciting, but we don't know where this meta is going to go. One of the most powerful cards. Whew. This is going to be intense. Now, of course, this isn't necessarily one that you're maybe wanting to play in the beginning game, but definitely can be one to be utilized as such. But in end game stuff where you really just need those final answers, man, this card can be good. This is probably one of my favorite cards revealed, and potentially one of the most powerful ones at that. You know, of course, it is going to be a 1 power cost, so recycling a purple in this case to look at the top 2 cards of your main deck. You draw 1 and recycle the other. Wow, that's really good. Gonna be curious how that turned out in the mic with that sound effect. But if you go ahead and repeat by recycling another rune, has to be purple, of course, then you are going to be able to draw 2 and potentially even put 2 at the bottom of the deck, which can really help you get through some of the stuff that you would rather see at this point. And drawing 2 for 2 power is so good. That is going to be something that I am excited to see what will impact the meta. And it's a common card. Keep that in mind. It's a common card. Oh man, I love reveal season. Anyway, with that, of course, a smaller card. We'll blow that. Oh, not blow that up. World Atlas. Now, of course, you can go ahead and equip for a blue. A calm, if you will. Then, when I hold, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. That's kind of the one thing I don't like about the gears yet, is the fact that it has flavor text and the effect text in the same. We've already missed one where we thought it was flavor text, and then the comments were like, did you realize just how good this card was? Totally missed it. Now I'm definitely looking. When I hold, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. Holy, that's going to be pretty solid. Also adding a +2. Doesn't actually have a power cost in the gear as well, which is going to be very helpful to be able to see what that will do to impact. And we'll go from there. Likewise, Altar of Memories. Again, here we go. Another gear. This is going to be a very gear heavy set. Now, when a friendly unit dies, you may exhaust me to draw 1. Then put a card from your hand on top or bottom of your main deck. So, ooh, that could be good. Even just once a turn, being able to go ahead and basically have a good vision ability at that point. Now, it's not vision, so keep that in mind. It would not interact with vision in that case, right? I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. But anyway, then you put the card from your hand to the top. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't in that case. Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to be really interesting to see how you can shuffle through your deck, really just refining things. We're seeing things like Zon Warrens in this case, where you are able to discard and draw 1. Now, this one is also different because it is a draw 1, then discard 1 or to the bottom of your main deck. And so, ooh, that's going to be interesting to see what kind of interactions you can get with that, because you could very well just pick the card that you just picked up and just put it on the bottom. So could be really fun. Now, BF Sword. You go ahead and attach for 1 in that case, same thing. And it is a +3. So not necessarily all that great. Pretty basic at that point, but still for a 4 might. Could see some play, but not necessarily anything to write home about. Now, Warmong's Armor. Again, equipped for 1, no power cost, +1, and when I conquer, buffed me. So, I mean, potentially adding a +2. So, I mean, the power cost there could be pretty solid at that point. Would be really interesting to also see an Lee Sin deck. The main reason why, if you play the green Lee Sin, you can buff as many times as you want. And so then again, if he goes ahead and conquers and you then buff him, and then you go ahead and you have some ganking or whatever you could possibly do, you could get a lot of buffs going on him fast, even with the +1 on top of that. Very cheap card. Looks really good. Curious on how this will look as an uncommon in the fact on how it will impact the meta. Now, Yon, we thought that this was actually going to be one of the legends, and there's even some theories going around that we are going to be getting a 13th legend. I know Willow has been speculating that a little bit, or at least his videos have been titled to speculate that and things of that nature. And there's been a lot of theory crafting around, or a lot of people theorizing what that necessarily means. Now, of course, what we have seen in the past is there are units that are champions in set 1 that were not made legends that now in set 2 are becoming legends. Fiora being a great example of that. Yon could be doing the same exact thing where in set 3, he finally comes in as a champion. So that could be something really interesting. Now, 5 and 1 recycle. This, again, might be a very good card for a Lee Sin deck in this case. Even in a set deck as well. Really interesting. Weapon Master, or, yeah, even a Lucian. But, again, I don't know what that meta looks like yet. So it's, like, fun to kind of theory craft around all of that, but we'll see. Now, with this Weapon Master, you're going to have the ability that when you play me, you may equip one of your equipment to me for 1 recycle, 1 power less, even if it's already attached to something else. So, really good ability right there. And then when I conquer and open battle battlefield, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit at base. So if you have a unit that then has an equipment of like adding +3, +4, you go over to him, you can deal 8 damage to a unit in a base. Just one. You're not going to be able to spread it out, but still, that could really clear out and devastate some things here in the battlefield. Now, we get some looking at jacks in this case, and definitely interesting to see here. When you play me, you may equip one of your equipment for 1 power less, even if it's already attached. And when you attach an equipment to me, you may pay 1 to draw 1. So that in and of itself could be a big difference maker. And holy, does this artwork look good. I mean, the foiling on this, when you finally get to hold it in person, is going to look absolutely amazing. The 3 might is something that is a little bit worrisome, but still being able, if you are at 5, so if you are going second, you'll be able to do this on turn 2 and be able to even draw a card. And likewise, it could be very possible that you then go ahead and just are able to add so many more cards into your hand and get things moving. Holy crap, that was small. A premonition. Now, this is also going to be in reaction, so really good. 2 and 3 power. Now, when you go ahead and do this, you can draw 3. So what's really interesting about that, yes, it has 3 power cost. Again, there's a lot of gold, there's a lot of seals and things of that nature that can really help mitigate this cost. So keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, drawing 3. So at reaction speed, as you go down the chain and whatnot, you could then go ahead and activate this card, draw the 3 at that point, and continue to play reactions if you happen to draw them at this point in the game before the chain completely resolves. So really interesting to see how all of that is going to unravel as well, and a really good card. With that, we got Treasure Hoard, the first battlefield revealed for this set. And it is going to be interesting. When you conquer here, you may pay 1 to create a gold gear token exhausted. There are a lot of times that you will have maybe 1 or 2 left over from your turn, and this could be a very good battlefield to be able to utilize. Likewise, something with Draven could very well benefit this. Not only that, yeah, the Kim Baroness would be really interesting with this battlefield as well, because you'd be adding an additional 1 once you are even at 5 points. And so this is going to be really interesting to see, because whoo, this could be scary to have to go ahead and interact with. And I'm tempted to see what might be done then at this point, because yeah, Treasure Hoard could go hand in hand with that. Looks like we actually are even getting additional cards. Are we getting more cards already added in? No, I think they're finally posting them. It said 8 new messages. He's still typing. Holy crap. Are we getting... Interesting. So yeah, we are getting more cards even revealed right now. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Good time to film. With that being said, we got Piercing Light. This is going to be a spell for red in this case, so really interesting. There can repeat for 2 and an additional recycle, so paying the cost all over again, which is going to be interesting. Now, you get to deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield, then deal up to 2 to 1 other unit. So that isn't necessarily tied specifically just to the battlefield at that point for the second trigger. So really interesting. And then if you repeat that, you of course do the same, 1 in the battlefield, 1 in a base. So you could really clear some things out. Now, of course, that is going to be a pretty high cost potentially, but it could really clear up your board. And you could take out some very devastating threats that otherwise you might not be able to. Very interesting on how that is going to go. We are seeing, you know, of course, at the same time, some Falling Star, which is 3 and 3 at that point with anywhere on the board. So it'll be interesting to see if Piercing Light, for literally just 1 less, what that's potentially going to do in this meta as well. Likewise, it looks like we got Realm Magnetic. So really interesting. A tank as a champion unit, 4 cost, no power cost, which is really good for a 4 might. Looking good there. Now, with that being said, when I attack, you may play an equipment with energy cost no more than 2, ignoring its cost, and attach it to me. That's going to be interesting. Ignoring its cost. makes me also think it's power cost as well. And that you still would, of course, have to pay to attach it to anything else in that case, but this already trumps that in the case of you immediately attach it to rel. So, I mean, that could be some serious ramp that you get going on. Two, there's already a lot of really good 2 might adding or 2 cost equipment that we've already seen. So this could be really interesting to see how all of that is going to be unraveling. Now, a spell for 1 and 1 power for Bellows Breath. Now, with that, you are going to be able to play on your turns, and in showdowns, you can repeat as well. And then you are going to be able to deal 1 up to 3 units at the same location. So, I mean, you could deal 2 for to 3 units, or you could even deal 1 to 6 units if they went super wide there. If you were going Invictor and whatnot and you needed that extra help, that could be pretty interesting to see. Really interesting card. Again, wondering how this is going to impact the meta. Now, this is one that I was actually really curious about and wondering what this was going to be able to do. Dauntless Vanguard. I mean, this is going to be cool to be able to see. You may play me to an occupied enemy battlefield for 4, so could just swing in just like that. This is a really cool idea. You know, and you could go ahead and maybe even try to play if there was like a reaction equipment type thing that you could play on top of that. You also could go ahead and play into a battlefield, then play like disciplines or things of that nature as well on top of that. To, I mean, just really devastate your opponent. You think they're safe and holding the battlefield. They're not. They're gone. So really interesting there. Veteran Poro. Now it's a weapon master, so you can go ahead and equip a token for free. Could be not an equipment for free, and see where that is at. So really interesting to see how that is going to be able to do as well. So I mean, there's a lot of things. You're not going to necessarily really want to play this on turn 1 unless it's something, you know, where you just have no choice. It's the only 2-drop in your hand. But man, if you could go ahead and get something out, you know, one of your equipment out, and then you go ahead and play this and you're able to equip it for free, that could be really cool to see at that point. Now, then, of course, we have Strike Down as well. A lot of orange that we are getting at this point. It is a spell for 3 and a power, and you can choose an equipped friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit, then detach an equipment to it. So a little bit of a cost where you do have to unattach something, and then you would potentially need to go ahead and pay a power cost to reattach it to the same unit or to something else entirely. So a little sucky there, but I mean, you could really just clear out a field or a unit on a, I mean, gosh, to an enemy unit. So anywhere on the board. So, I mean, if you had, I mean, if you went ahead and buffed up set to 12, you had even an equipment on it because it needs to have an equipment on it. Then, I mean, gosh, could you imagine? You could take anything out at that point and then afterwards even move into a battlefield with the buffed set at that point and just move in and devastate your opponent. Now, Kato the Arm. Now, this is going to be a 4 might, 1 power, or 4 cost 1 power at that point for 3 might. Deflect as well. Those are so annoying. But with that being said, when I move to a battlefield, give a friendly unit my keyword and plus might equal to my might this turn. Holy crap. That's good. Wow. That's insane. So that can add a lot right there. Holy. So yeah, definitely need to be careful there. Now, Loyal Pup. He cute. My wife would love this card. Now, when you defend a battlefield, you may move me there. So could easily just go ahead and add 3 might. Really good right there. Again, the 3 cost for 3. Don't necessarily know how meta relevant this will be, but still, I mean, adding 3 might could be very helpful. But again, with all the equipment and everything, that could very well be attacking in. It's going to be interesting to see where everything is going to fall. Clark is still typing and adding cards. Boots of Swiftness. Now, this, of course, is going to be attached for a purple. It's going to be a purple card. Awesome. Gear. Awesome. Now, it also gives ganking, which is really interesting. So, I mean, with some of the movement of Aurelia and things like that, it could be really good. And then as also adding even +2, that is pretty exciting to be able to see. Windsinger. It is a unit for 2 with 1 might. Hidden card as well. And then when you play me, you may return another unit at a battlefield with 3 or less to its owner's hand. So pretty much a gust at that point. Really interesting. And the fact that it's a unit gust, so it adds 1 and then also returns a unit, could be something that really helps swing you to hold a battlefield. Switcheroo, aka Teemo, after he's had some meth. Looks a little scary. That is the thing of nightmares. 2 cost, 2 power at that point as well. As a spell, can also be played as a hidden card action as well. So this could be even fun for Teemo as well. Swap the might of 2 units at the same battlefield this turn. Holy crap. And the fact that it can go in hidden, that could be a game changer there for Teemo, right? Oh my gosh, that is so cool to be able to see. Gosh. Now, Draven, audacious. Now, the first time I win combat each turn, you score 1 point. That is additional. So you could score 2 points. This is the scary part. This is the risk and reward of this Draven. I remember hearing about this when I was in Vegas. And when I die in combat, choose an opponent, they score 1 point. So that's really scary right there. A little bit risk and reward. That also can be the winning point as well. So if your opponent's at 7, they destroy the Draven with like a falling star or whatnot, they win the game. So you do have to be a little careful about how you juggle that and see how this goes. Okay, so it looks like we're actually getting a lot of the Chinese cards officially released in English. So dang, I really did time this right. So last rights here, 3 cost, being able to be an equipment here. Thank you, Clark. Just huge shout out to you for posting these. Equipped, you'll be able to recycle 2 cards from your trash. Oh, wow, that is a cost. Holy crap. So, kind of cool that you'll be able to put some cards back. And then when I conquer or hold, you may play a unit from your trash. You still pay its cost, but still a chance for it to be able to get it back. So really interesting there. Unsung Hero. Now, of course, that's going to be a 2 cost, 2 might with a death knell. So when it dies, something will happen. If I was mighty, draw 2. So, I mean, that could be really good. The big fear, though, it's like, how are you going to be able to get it to a mighty point? Now, of course, gear are going to be very helpful on doing that. But still, it could be a little bit difficult to try to get it up to that point. But again, time will tell. Now, Rek'Sai, the champion unit. Rek'Sai is a woman, by the way, just so you guys know. The lore is there, as my commenters have told me time and time again. I've been playing this game since 2014, League of Legends at least, and still did not know that lore. So pretty funny there, and thank you guys for correcting me on that. I kept laughing at myself. It's like, how are you gonna know? Unless you know the lore at that point. Look at that flavor text. That is next level flavor text right there. Now, again, 5 and 1 at that case for 5 might. Love when they do the extended art on it, like as well, breaking the barriers of the card. Love how that looks. So cool. When I attack, you may reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play 1. Keep in mind, you still have to pay the cost of that. It's not play for free, so you still have to. Then recycle the rest. If the played card is a unit, you may play it here. So you could go ahead and take a after you take the battlefield or whatnot, or even when I attack. So this is even before. Oh, interesting. So it's even before showdown at that point, and you could just add a unit. So you go ahead and you could play Rek'Sai out. And the following turn, go ahead and attack him with all your runes at the ready and take a look. And if it is a unit, cool, I'll just go ahead and play it. So if you had like 8 runes up and you found a 6 rune cost unit, cool, I'll just go ahead and add him. So really interesting right there. Really like how that looks. That's cool. Could also, even if Rek'Sai, if I remember correctly, was he yellow and red? I believe he was yellow and red. Yeah, so Rek'Sai is yellow and red, so very good way to even maybe find a red Draven at that point that you could potentially stick in the deck. If you happen to find it, then you would be able to play him to a battlefield, and he would add it plus might on top of that. Now, of course, it would suck because that is a 5 and 1, so you don't get to cheat it out like you might be able to do with Darius Hook. But still, really interesting deck, all things considered, to see how that is going to end up going as well. So, with that, we still have a couple of cards after that, but Rek'Sai, the woman that she is, really interesting card and could send some waves over this meta. Now we get to see Fiora champion unit, and when a unit you control becomes mighty, you may pay 1 yellow to ready it. Now, of course, that is a recycle cost, so the power cost at that point. A unit is mighty when it has +5. So again, really interesting that she is at 3 might for 3, but still, that is really nice to at least get her out on turn 2. Some really good stuff that you could potentially do. Again, I think at the same time, there are going to be equipment that are going to be vital here in this color combination with Fiora. And I'm going to be interested to see what's going to be maybe coming of her deck. It could be something that could be making a really big difference. But right now, it looks like that is all the cards that Clark has finished posting. He has stopped posting for about 10 minutes. So just to be safe, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Chinese spoilers to see if anything was missed. And I believe there were an actual great amount in that case. So let's go ahead and see this card. Okay, I thought you were going to actually have that. So here is what the artwork looks like. It is going to be a color combination of 5 and 2 at this point. And it specifically says right above me, hostile takeover, signature spell. There we go. Good enough for you guys, at least for now. Okay. Signature spell, Renata Glatsk. However you say that. Sorry, guys. I'm already going to hear that in the comments. Hidden for a power cost as well. Gain control of an opposing unit and ready it. If there are other opposing units, enter showdown. Otherwise, conquer the battlefield. At the end of your turn, lose control of the unit, then recalls to its owner's base. This is not a standard move. So really, wow, that's cool. Well, and the fact, this is a card that we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot that are over hidden costs at this point as well. So the fact that you can hide a 5 cost 2 power for literally just a power cost and having this kind of ability is really scary. And it, of course, is a signature spell, so it can only go into her deck in this case, but really interesting to be able to see. And then steal your opponent's unit and then hook it. I mean, come on, you could. Interesting. Flat out conquer for defending. Interesting right there. I mean, and if you play it from hidden, it shouldn't be a conquer. I'm pretty sure the reminder text is just about using it at normal speed. Very good point right there as well. Crazy there. Yeah, if you play it from hidden, then you already had control, so no conquer. So good stuff right there. Now, next, of course, oh, that's funny. It would have been really funny if it like matched up with his arm on the card. It didn't, like if he was just out like that, you know. Oh, well, lost opportunity. Anyway, so interesting there. Arcane Shift, signature spell from Ezreal as well. That is going to be an action card. Banish a friendly unit. Then its controller plays it for free, ignoring all costs. Deal 3 damage to an opposing unit in a battlefield. Banish this card. So interesting. I'm going to be interested to also see how this is going to interact. This is going to be interesting too, just for the meta, just because having 24 different legends that could potentially be competitive in this meta. I mean, and once we get to set 3, set 4, and all that stuff, you just get wider and wider. This is gonna get crazy. I'm excited, guys. Sorry about that. Time to start brewing. So like a better Portal Rescue, yeah, way better than Portal Rescue. Being able to play on a battlefield you control is such a big upgrade, especially if you control both. This with Watcher. Great point, Josh. Portal Rescue and Hextech Ray had a baby. Actually, yeah, pretty accurate. Especially for the 3 and 1 at that point as well. So, gosh, I mean, that could be some really cool stuff. Now, Counter-Strike, not the video game, my friends, but instead, signature spell for Jax. It is at reaction speed as well. Here is the artwork, 2 and 1 recycle. Looking good. And then choose a unit, prevent the next damage that unit takes this turn, draw a card. Oh, that's good. And then automatically just goes ahead and replaces itself on top of that. Come on, get me some. Oh, get me the tea. This is gonna be good. I'm liking Jax. Oh, he's interesting. He's interesting. Might even be a little bit of an upgrade of a Lee Sin at that point as well. Now, of course, here we go. Ooh, that's some cool artwork. I love how they do the full artwork. I love also how they do the foiling for rares and above. Now, for each equipment you control, put 2 Might Sand Soldier into... What? And ready 2 Sand Soldiers? Oh, that's rude. That's a cool idea. A neat one. All right. I was tempted to build a Zero. This sells me. Yep, rightfully so. Could potentially do that even on turn 3. Turn 2 if you run Obelisk. I mean, gosh. Consider that. Interesting. Holy, that's cool. Name should be Arise or Sand Soldiers Arise. Yeah, sure. Based on this league tooltips, I'd imagine it's just Arise. Like turn 1 play and equip, turn 2 play and equip, turn 3 this is so much on the board, and they come in readied at that point as well. And your Sand Soldiers do have Weapon Master, so really crazy stuff right there. Now, again, these aren't going to be as good of screenshots because they are from the Chinese reveals, but here we go, 1 and 2 power cost as well. And it is going to be the Hunt, a signature spell for Severe, and ready all of your units. That's interesting. That is interesting. Again, sorry for the bad stuff, but I think we have one more card at this point. And here is the artwork again, 2 for 2, and the power cost looks really good. That is going to be so cool, full foiled as well, especially if they even add some texture. Again, they are going to be playing around with the regular foiling that we saw previously, as well as rainbow foils. So it's going to be cool to see what they pick for each one as well. So keep that in mind. Now, Riposte, or I imagine I say things right, guys. Sorry. Signature spell for Fiora. It's at a reaction speed. Choose a friendly unit and spell. Counter that spell, and that friendly unit gains might equal to that spell's cost this turn. That's cool. If that's an accurate translation, and it pretty much is, I can almost guarantee that. But still, holy crap. I'm curious if it can be used on an enemy board. No. Okay, so there is one way it's worse than Windwall. So if the unit leaves play in response to this card, you just counter the spell and no boost. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay, but if you need to counter a spell that early, that's crazy. You usually will use this to keep your board alive and say F you to Kai'Sa players. Go play Garen if you need counter spells that early. So, interesting stuff right there, guys. But dude, I think that is all the cards right there. This is exciting, and we should be getting even more cards coming tomorrow as well. So, I mean, gosh, a lot of chance for content, a lot of chance for us to be extremely hyped up for this. I am still bummed the fact that this meta is going to be pretty much defined by the time it releases in February because it's released in China. That always sucks. We just got to wait till set 4. There's nothing we can do about that. But with that being said, wow, these are going to be some cards. Again, I am so worried though. But I think I know what they know what they're doing. I'm hoping that we don't just have power creep just go whoo. I mean, we've already seen some discussions about that in this current, as these cards continue to get revealed. I really hope that we don't have that power creep just skyrocket up. Time will tell. We will see. With that being said, though, it's going to be really interesting to see what is all here said and done. It's going to be really cool to see all of these cards revealed. Again, that is going to be on December 3rd, so pretty much a week from now. We will know everything that is in Spiritforged, and it is going to get ever more exciting. What are your guys' thoughts on the cards so far? What are your thoughts on the cards that have been revealed, and what do you hope yet will get revealed? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, guys, have a good one.